If you've ever experienced a meltdown with your loved one, you know that that's something you pretty much want to avoid at all costs. The easiest way to avoid a meltdown is knowing what causes a meltdown. And again, usually when we hear the word dementia, the first thing we're thinking about is memory loss, which is absolutely true. But when we look at all of the other things that come along with that, like confusion, taking extra time to process incoming information, and the sensory impairments that I talked about earlier, like vision loss and hearing loss, you can start to see where the deck is stacked against your loved one. So some of the things that you want to look at in order to avoid a meltdown in both your loved one and you are things that are going on in the environment. TV, especially TV news, is a particular one that is really easy to cause a meltdown because it can be very frustrating for a person living with dementia to try and follow what's going on in a TV show. And that might be something where you're thinking, well, you know, they really loved watching TV or always watched the news since Walter Cronkite was on TV, and TVs were great big Magnavoxes that looked like living room furniture. But the thing is, things change as we age, no matter if we have a cognitive impairment or not. I used to love roller skating when I was 8 years old, but I got over that quite a few years ago. So it's normal for things that we love to change over time. And sometimes things just turn into more of a habit, like maybe having the news on while you're cooking dinner. For your loved one, that can be really upsetting because if you really sit down and analyze the news, you'll see that images jump quite frequently. The stories are maybe a couple of minutes long and then they move on to the next thing. Usually if it's good news, it doesn't make the nightly news, so it's usually something that's upsetting. There might be explosions or people yelling at one another. Whatever it is, it's probably something that can be really overwhelming for your loved one. Add to that maybe barking dogs or kids running around or coming in and out, and the situation can get out of control fairly quickly. To give you an example, think about doing your holiday shopping and being stuck in traffic, and then your stomach starts growling, you realize you're hungry, and then you realize like your coffee cup is empty, and you maybe have the radio on and you've heard that particular song 40 times in a row and you just can't stand it. And then maybe you have somebody in the car with you that talks and talks and talks and talks. And then the guy behind you starts honking their horn because he somehow thinks that's going to be helpful and make the light change, like you have anything to do with this. And before you know it, you've burned through 30 minutes just trying to get into the parking lot of the mall, and you're not in a very good mood, right? Well, the thing is, for you, you can talk yourself through that. You can realize, I'm not feeling very good. I'm getting really cranky, super agitated. And then you can start figuring out what's causing that and changing it. So you can turn off the radio. You can ask your passenger to just, let's play the silent game for a couple of minutes here. My nerves are a little jangled. You can realize that, oh yeah, Amazon.com is a thing that exists. Yay! You can make the first right turn out of there. You can get out of that mess. You can hit a drive-thru. You can get something to eat. You can do a lot of things to take care of yourself, but what's crucial for that is you have the ability to figure out what's causing the problem. For people living with dementia, it's not that easy. They're losing that ability and the ability to self-soothe and be able to talk themselves through it and to change what's going on in the environment that they find overstimulating or upsetting. That's where we come in. We have to be on the lookout for what might cause that problem in them and prevent it. So turning off the TV is a really good one. Another one to think about is blood sugar levels. And I'm not recommending that you start taking blood sugar levels or testing blood sugar for someone who's not a diabetic. But are you mindful of when was the last time your loved one had something to eat? And this is true for you too. And again, I talked about in the first video about how you have an energy that you bring that is contagious for your loved one, right? Same thing here. If you're getting close to a meltdown, it's more likely that they're going to pick up on that, which could lead to a meltdown, honestly, in both of you, because that's just not a good place to be. So a lot of times it can be difficult to get someone who's living with dementia to sit down and eat a full meal. And for more information on that, please see the playlist, a couple of playlists below this, which is called Making Mealtimes Pleasurable Again. And you'll get lots of great information in that playlist. But specific to blood sugar, you want to make sure that it stays stable throughout the day. And that's, again, for both you and your loved one. So you might want to offer snacks. A lot of times people find that a lot easier to tolerate than a bigger sized meal. So just offer snacks throughout the day. It might be an apple with peanut butter, or a cheese stick, or a celery stick with peanut butter, or whatever. A lot of these foods that I'm mentioning too, you notice, don't require utensils, which can make it a lot easier for a person living with dementia to manage their own eating and build some confidence in them as well. So that's just an added bonus. So make sure that both of you are getting the nutrition you need throughout the day.